Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you so much for joining me here. Hope you're having an amazing day. Happy Manipulation Monday. We're going to take a look here at Bitcoin, see what's going on. Obviously, going to need to update some of the charts here and effectively kind of look at some big picture stuff here. We got some interesting stuff in the market. We had last night before I went to bed, we looked at about $500 million in USDT, pushing the price action up at 1.5%. And then, of course, wake up this morning, 15 minutes. We saw $1.2 billion in USDT transferred and, of course, pushing the price action super, super high. So really, really cool stuff, but also unfortunate too because the SEC supposedly approved the iShares spot ETF, and then moments later, basically saying, oops, just kidding, this was fake. Okay, so again, unfortunately, crypto market is full of these kind of things. It makes you feel kind of like this here, where you're just not really sure what to what to do or how to react, right? It's like, I'm really excited, and of course, it hits the fan, right? So anyways, funny stuff there. Go ahead and check out our Twitter if you want to get entertained by that. But this is just kind of how crypto goes, right? You got to love it for what it is, but it's also unfortunate. You got to recognize that if you are, you were shorting the market, there's going to be much more opportunities, of course. And speaking of shorting the market too, let's just talk really quick here about this, because I really appreciate him sharing this. Chef, thank you very much for showing your Bitcoin short that didn't go the way you wanted it to. Okay, that happens. Obviously, very successful trader. There's no doubt that that was a small blip on the radar compared to the profits he's taken. But I like to be able to highlight that this is a very firm reality in crypto. Okay, so don't trust anybody that is 100% flawless and perfect. I mean, while I trade at a pretty high rate, we take losses all the time. We have some trades underwater. It's just kind of the way that it goes, especially if you're swing trading this kind of market. Okay, all the more reason to use low leverage, low position size. And just to touch on that here, look at this. A month and a half later, we got a Bitcoin long at 57.5%. I'm okay with waiting a month and a half for 55, 56%. Okay, that's perfectly fine by me. So congrats to our community members there. We took a BNB trade 5 days ago, 20%. And of course, Gala 2.5 days ago at about 16%. So again, all good. Very, very good stuff there. I cannot complain. So thanks again for the wonderful feedback. Let's go ahead and talk a little about what's going on here in the big picture. So let's quickly recap the week here and see how the week ended here for us, right? So we got this week opening with a bang, obviously, but last week closed with a bearish engulfing candle, looking like the price action wanted to pull back. That obviously changed just now with that little stimulation of extra money flowing into this coin, but we can see that we're still under the 20-day SMA on the weekly. So, again, closing this week out at about 20,000 or higher is extremely important. And take a look here as well. We did bounce off of 50 in the RSI somewhat, so that's a positive sign. We also have a convergence on the horizon too. So the weekly is looking actually fairly decent. Okay, now if we take a quick look at the larger time frames, we can also see the 200-day SMA is working its way up, but also hanging out about that 28,328.4 mark. So it really just kind of summarizes here in the sense that we're in a situation now where we are still below some key levels, and we're not truly bullish, but a close above 28K this week would be a pretty solid situation for us. Okay, so not terrible at all. Again, the way that we're starting off this week here, pretty strong. A lot of volume flowing into this coin, of course, as we already indicated, but that was just a pretty crazy way to wake up. Yeah, $1 billion in 15 minutes. That's crypto for you, though, guys and gals. That's kind of just the way that it goes. Okay, so we've established all that. Let's talk a little bit about bigger picture here, or just generally, the daily, which to me is one of my favorite time frames. I like the 4 hour on the daily the most. We can see here we got a convergence forming here on the MACD on the daily. All the more reason to close above this level. So we can see a pretty firm line in the sand here, right? That 28,000 mark is a pretty solid resistance level. Okay, so just know we are ascending positively here at this point. So we're in a situation where the likelihood of the price breaking upwards now seems greater. Okay, once again, this nice solid little bounce here. So if you exclude today, we were still trending positively on this ascending trend here and looking decent. In fact, let's look at the moving averages. We are running concurrent with this trend line at the 50-day SMA. That's always a positive sign. We are now above the 20, and we still have yet to close above the 200. So again, the 200-day SMA, pretty strong indicator. Coincidentally, it's averaging itself out on the daily and the weekly, right at 28,000. Okay. Well, 28.2, I think, or 23 on the weekly, but fairly, very close to this area here. So a lot of resistance. Key takeaway here is closing the weekly or the daily. This is sometime, just one daily candle above this level doesn't mean we have confirmation, by the way. But a few days plus, just say a weekly close above 28,000, I think that'd be a pretty decent sign we might be back on track, and we may see October effectively in place. Okay, so all in all, pretty decent here in the overall sense of things. Okay, so by no means are we overextended. The price could continue to run upwards. That's absolutely a possibility. Okay, especially with more money flowing to the coin. Even though we had a lot of resistance up here at 30,000, the price sold off really quick. It's still one of those things where we're in that situation. Okay? Keep in mind too, when it comes to fundamental versus technical, and one of our members said it best. Fake news, pump and dumps. That people trading the news are going to get wrecked. That's absolutely 100%. Totally agree with that. So make sure to trade the charts and not the news. So you hear Bitcoin ETF gets approved. Don't just funnel a bunch of money into it. You should have been doing that well in advance based on all the TA that we've talked about previously, right? Because the charts are telling us here still that we haven't officially broken this descending trend. Well, correction, we have broken the descending trend. We haven't officially broken the parallel higher highs and higher lows, and essentially broken this trend line yet. So there's still a lot of reasons why the price action may not continue further up. But this is a good start. Okay, keep in mind, even though it was fake news, so to speak, it kind of shook out a lot of shorts, and now there's not a lot of folks trying to sell at this point, at least at the 28,000 mark. Speaking of which, we got to look at some high block capital data here to kind of get perspective on what's going on. I think this is important to recognize. So if we look at total open, and this is an open interest, we'll look at the next liquidation levels based on specific shorts versus long. So if we take a look here, obviously we know shorts got wrecked. So there's a lot of new shorts in the market, as low as roughly about 28,800. So the price wicks up again, we could see another short squeeze where the price comes up and washes out majority of these shorts. But keep in mind, a lot of these are these are probably the 20x shorts, 10x shorts, and 5x shorts here, all leveraged at higher price point, expecting the price not to surpass 30,000. Okay, so we got a lot more shorts in the market right now. We can also see, of course, that some of the longs here, the late longs, for lack of better terms, they are hedged right about 26,800. Okay, so 26.8 and also 26.2. Those are two massive liquidation levels here for this coin. We don't need to look at much else because it's just complete manipulation here. You can see, of course, more shorts got liquidated than longs, and just par for the course here based on what we just saw. But what we do want to look at is open interest. I'm very curious about our longs here to see where they're hedged and roughly where we're at. So look at these late longs here. These guys got demolished. Late longs at 30,000. What are you thinking? Being a breakout trader, they never truly succeed. Very difficult to be a breakout trader unless you're in a bull market. We have not confirmed that yet. So what we're seeing here is a lot of liquidations for these longs getting hammered. Like they kept buying the dip. Look at that. Comes down to 29.5, got wrecked. 29,000 got wrecked. 28.5 wrecked. And now we got some. We don't even see very many longs here. We got a small amount of longs at about maybe 28.8. Okay. So please don't be one of those folks. Again, spot exchange is different. These are futures, and it's important to recognize that adding to your spot bag is a much different scenario than just taking a 50x long because the price pumps up and you hear the news. Don't be one of those traders. You'll get lucky once in a while, but it's not a sustainable way to trade. Okay, so when it comes to just say the last 7 days here, we can see all these shorts got wiped out. There's still a lot of longs here at about 26,450 as far as liquidation is concerned. And if we do look at the full month, we'll get perspective here that there's still a lot. I want to reiterate this, a lot of liquidation levels between 25.8 and 26.4. Now those may never get tested, the price could never turn around. But if it does, just know those are going to be targets for whales to drive the price to that level to wipe out any potential long in the market right now, and then just kind of reset everything. I actually almost feel like that'll almost be more of a priority for them now after seeing that most recent spike, because a lot of folks are like, ooh, this ETF's going to be approved soon. And I can assure you that they'll have one last trick under their sleeve. So do not trust the fact that we retested 30,000. That really has nothing to do with it. From a technical standpoint, we do not have confirmation we're truly bullish. Okay? Again, it's going to take a while before we're truly bullish anyways. We got to be well over 30,000, honestly, to see that. But a one wake up based on some fake news, not really worth your time. Okay? So hopefully you didn't get caught in that mess. That said, though, taking a look at the 4 hour here, we're above all 3 moving averages. That was kind of par for the course for this kind of increase. We are up over 70 in the RSI, and MACD is converging. So the truth is here that we are overextended, We're leading into an overextended state, of course. We did have this consolidation effort just before that massive increase. So it does look like this level at 28,000 was planning to be retested anyways, with that $500 million that was put in the market late last night. That is the Asian market, keep in mind. They were trying to get ahead of the curve. They had the money ready to go. Good chance. As soon as the news came out, they pushed in and pushed the price action higher. So again, sometimes it helps to kind of wipe out some of those shorts like that, but keep in mind the price may continue to rise up, but I think it'd make a lot more sense for the price to have a sell-off soon, just based on the simple fact that a lot of folks are, quote unquote, bullish on Bitcoin now, and they feel like it's going to be ready to rock and roll. Anytime you feel this way, it goes the opposite direction. Okay. My instinct is telling me not to trust this. Guys, I hope the same for you. If you have spider senses that are tingling, let me know. Comment below. Love to hear it. Shoot me a tweet or a post now on Twitter X, and essentially let me know what your thoughts are. Love to hear it. But on the hourly here, the last thing we want to double check is the cloud. Really kind of a false, I wouldn't say a false breakout, but this is not really the best, most accurate representation of the market right now. In other words, this does tell us to leave our long position open, which is perfectly fine. Just know in the next 12 hours, if the price action stays at 28,000, it might be best to consider taking your profits if you haven't already. And just know that within the next 12 hours, we're going to be naturally below the cloud, and we're going to have that resistance at 28.5. Okay. So all in all, not the most fantastic situation here. If we do take a quick peek over here at Elliott Wave, just kind of to give you perspective here, we are potentially at our highest point here on our smaller wave, but a larger wave says we could see more. So truth is, there's definitely more potential for upside. No doubt about that. But if you do look at the big picture, I still think we might see a price action sub 25,000 or close to 25,000 to wipe out all those long liquidation levels at 26,000, and essentially we could see a retest of the 22 to fill that CME gap. I'm not a firm subscriber to the idea that we're going to see 20,000 again, but I do think that if we were to lose that, it's potential reality. All we really need is an aggressive sell-off, say another $1 billion selling off to the downside, and we'll see that happen. Okay? So just know it's not really there's no concrete direction at this point. Okay? Never trust this type of candle wick or candlestick. And it takes a while for things to recover too. So if you look at this hindsight, when the price wicked down, of course, that was a tough time, August 17th, where everything sold off. The candle wick came down aggressively, and it continued to come down, and it took about a month to start recovering. Okay? So we could very well see the price continue to try it here. It rejected off its most recent low as a current high, basically, and then we could see the price action pull back. One last thing we're going to take a quick look at is the volume profile. We are above some most recent volume, so that's a very positive sign. But if we look at the larger time frames here, and we kind of go back, let's just go back roughly since the beginning of the year. The most amount of volume is right here at about 23,000. Okay. So heaven forbid we do have those longs liquidated at 20, 25, 26. 23 would be the likely area of consolidation. Okay. Just again, some big picture stuff. We're not there yet, but don't let this fool you. And don't necessarily think that we're in the clear just yet. This may be a decent shorting opportunity at 28. We just want to kind of wait and see. Okay. So I hope that makes sense for you. Thanks again so much for joining me here. If you want to become a better trader, again, cryptocash.tech is the site where you can join over to our Discord and benefit from these trade signals. These are fully automated trade signals, and they're really just nice passive ways of making some income. So if you want to follow my trades, I'm more than happy to do that. The main reason why you would want to become a premium member, though, is just because I have a trading academy, and I teach you everything I know more in detail, more in depth. I can't actually do that on a basis here. So, of course, you want to check that out. Be sure to watch those videos. And if you're currently a community member, make sure you subscribe to that and take a look. Those are really important to understand, teaching you good risk tolerance and good risk management, and not FOMOing into a breakout. We got tons of people just got wrecked today because of that. All right. Thanks again for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Take good care.